everybody, and welcome to RFC After Hours, episode number 62. Now, if you're confused by the format, as pretty much all my co-hosts are right now, we recorded this last night. I wanted to do it live, like I always want to do it live, but Kothorix insisted that it be pre-recorded instead, which is understandable. I can adapt, I can change, I can work with people, like that. I have this policy, right, where it's like almost 100% of the time I want it to be live, but I'd also rather have the conversation take place in the first place, and this was quite the interesting thing to listen to. For the most part, I let them go at it. It didn't really get too contentious, a little bit at the start, but I think both of them kind of found common ground pretty quickly, as incredible as it is to sound. Let me go ahead and start this up right from the beginning, and we're going to take a listen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pre-recorded After Hours. Like I said before, I like to keep all these conversations live on the show, but we have to pre-record this one simply because, if one of our guests, Kothorix, requests it to be pre-recorded. I really pressured him for it to be live, but unfortunately, he really wasn't down for that kind of atmosphere. And to be honest, I get it, and I'd rather have the conversation, take place at all than to be pre-recorded. All right, I see them both they've been sitting there in the callers tab for a couple minutes now, so let's not hesitate. Let's go and pull them in right now. Since Kothorix has kind of stated his, point in his video. Well, actually, I'll let Kothorix kind of readdress his points, and then I'll let Freeman take it from there. Hello, Freeman. How you doing tonight?
Hello. I'm doing very fine.
Now, do you want to give the stream a little introduction? Well, I say stream. We're not live currently, but this will be live streamed at one point. Do you want to give the people watching a little summary of what you are, what your channel is?
Gladly. I'm a small YouTuber of about 2,500 subs. I do highly edited commentaries with a lot of animatics and funny moments, essentially. Other than that, it's storytime videos. Various stories that I tell with nice ambient noises in the background, always trying to make something special. But always in a guarantee is high quality editing.
How are you feeling right now? Are you ready for this discussion, debate, whatever the hell this is going to end up being?
It's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
You're up against quite the opponent. Speaking of which, I'll go ahead and bring him in right now and let him introduce himself and provide a little context for his channel. Hello, Kothorix. How you doing?
What's going on?
Now, Kothorix, you want to give the recording a little idea of what your channel is, what you cover?
That's a good question. What does my channel do? I guess I just want to be a YouTuber, and the journey is trying to figure out how to do that and what kind of content to make.
Okay, so you're just kind of, doing your own thing, you presenting your own ideas out there and letting people listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, recently, I would say, you're no stranger to controversy, especially recently with a couple of your videos. The main one that I want to concern tonight is one of your more recent ones, which is, I have it loaded up right here. We're not going to watch it. We've already given it a look on the show, but I think everyone's well familiar with it. It's titled, Why We Should Bring Back Child Labor. Now, before I ask you anything, I have to ask, be honest with me, was this a troll or is this your genuine, unfiltered opinion?
Well, if I told you that would ruin the fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, so you're saying it's a troll?
Well, it's an opinion. I'm sure someone has, or maybe not.
Yeah, there's definitely always people out there who have all kinds of wild opinions. Now, if it's not your real opinion, that's fine. We can debate hypotheticals. That's always fun, a fun debate. But I just wanted to know background. Is this something you felt for a while? Something you really wanted to let people know? You've just been waiting till, guys, we need to bring back child labor now.
I finally worked up the courage to tell everyone what I felt my entire life. We really
just
need
tell
to bring
everyone
back
the truth.
child labor.
All right. Well, now I've said before, we get in the video a look in the channel, but do you want to just briefly sort of summarize your points from that video and explain why you believe this would be a good idea and beneficial for America?
You expect me to remember the shit that I wrote? Oh my god! All right.
You wouldn't remember your arguments pro child labor? Seems like that'd stand the mind a little more. I don't know.
Let's see. What did I say? I think I said it would bring down gang activity if kids are employed. What else did I say? It'll, I don't know, help low. I don't fucking remember what I said in that video.
Yeah, wonderful. Well,
sound very passionate.
Well, now I don't even know halfway what to expect.
Now, Freeman, it's my understanding, you took some issue to this video. What specifically? It seems like there's something you're not aligning with here, and I wanted to wonder, like, what exactly do you take issue with this video for?
Well, take issue. It's more along the lines of the fact that I was just unsure if this was something you actually legitimately stood for. Actually had an opinion in regards to, the whole idea of child labor. Because the thing is, you have made videos in the past. I watched your Fresh Start video, and you talked about you want to essentially separate more serious videos from less serious videos, and hence you had 2 channels. And this one, Kothism, would essentially be the channel in which all the more serious topics would be involved in. Hence as to why I was simply wondering, well, okay, in that case, do you actually mean what you say?
You have a great voice, by the way. Is that your real voice, or is that some kind of like modulator or something?
It is my real voice.
That is amazing. I love your voice. Okay, so, I think that it's partially my fault for maybe wording things strangely or whatever, but I think when I said serious videos, I meant videos about serious topics, whereas my other channel is more going to be for, I don't know, gaming, I guess, and stuff that doesn't really matter. But again, do any of my videos matter?
I don't know.
Matter. It all really comes down to what you actually think in regards to what is necessary to watch. And as far as things have been going down currently, in my honest opinion, you have been quite misleading. You haven't really been clear as to what it actually is that you want to nail down, unless that which you want to nail down is the things you've said. But it's kind of hard to believe considering the, video you just did 2 days ago. The thing is, when you made the video why we should bring back child labor and how to fuck a dragon,
Okay, well, all right. So here's the thing: how to fuck a dragon. That is some honesty there.
I know.
You can be sure of that.
But I'm sorry, but I do not understand or resonate with that. Really. Do you have any idea how unsexy it would be to have Kothorix go harder on me, Duvakin?
Yeah, he's an old man. That's not, what we're talking about.
Oh, fine. You won't go for someone else then, like, for example, everyone's favorite Smaug.
I know some people who would have Smaug do some things to them, so, yeah. Certainly.
Flattery will keep you alive. Judge's side. But I know there's some truth to that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah, people are into weird shit.
If you want to breathe what is essentially the scaly flying and fire-breathing version of a dog, go ahead.
I think that if you think of dragons as animals, then yeah, it's kind of weird, but I always thought of them as more of greater than that, as intelligent as humans, if not more so.
So you see them more as like humans that are like kind of morphed in a way to have like scales and stuff, rather than like an animal that is like that.
Sure.
Okay.
I just think it's
left the furry fandom, or is it?
Yeah, I don't want to be involved with the furry fandom, and that doesn't mean that I suddenly don't want to fuck dragons.
Yeah, because, if you think dragons are people, or, like, more akin to people, and you would relate them more to people than animals, that's not exactly a furry, because being a furry is more attracted to, like, the animalistic stuff, right?
Oh, I think it's the same for furries. You wouldn't think of the characters as animals. They're people. They have the minds of people.
Well, yes, but at the same time, they have those animalistic traits. And the thing is, if it comes to the conclusion that the addition of these animalistic traits is what makes it that extra bit spicy for you to want to stick your dick in, then why, by all living means, would you not be considered a furry at that point in time?
What is the definition of furry? What makes you a furry and what doesn't?
My definition of a furry, as far as I've gotten it understood, is a person that is highly interested in anthropomorphic creatures. Anything that is essentially a blend of human and animal in one, or well, as far as I understood it, it can be more than just animal, but the furry fandom is more along the lines of the combination of human and animal. Now, the thing is, though, from personal experience and witnessing in all manners of bungo jungo, it appears as if though that pornography is very intricate with the fandom. And I wouldn't have minded it if it wasn't for the sheer fact that this fandom attempts to actually bring in children, which, if that's the case, worries me.
I don't think that kids should be part of the fandom at all. I don't think anyone should be part of the fandom, honestly.
I agree.
Okay, so that's ultimately the question, and one of the things that I ask myself is liking these sorts of characters and anthropomorphic creatures conditioning people to like zoophilia or bestiality or whatever. And I don't think I can really answer that. I've looked into it, and there isn't really as far as psychologists are concerned, there isn't really a consensus as to if that's what happens if you are conditioned into it, or if it's something that you're kind of born with. That makes sense.
Well, I can actually perhaps go a bit in detail in this as to my personal thoughts. When it comes to the whole idea about anthropomorphism perhaps being a gateway into zoophilia, I most definitively believe that it could be. Because after all, it is essentially, how do I say, it is the combination of human and animal in one, after all, essentially taking one part of one thing and one part of the other, making it into a whole thing. And of course, if that then solely becomes the very thing you're turned on by, well, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to have humans because, well, they're not, the animal part. And, well, you could have an animal, but it's not human.
Yeah, I think that can become a problem, not so much as if we're talking about people being conditioned into zoophilia, but more people not being able to make meaningful relationships with people because the sexual aspect is very, I don't know how you would call it.
Well, how do you be sure? You want to have sex with dragons, don't you?
Sure. I mean, the main way, that's one of the main reasons that furries get together in the first place is because once they realize they have this sort of sexual interest in anthropomorphic characters, the main way to kind of express that is to get together and do the role playing and to share pornography.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay. Well, the thing is, though, there's a bit different between... this is also why the furry fandom is so outed and disgusted, essentially. Because the thing is, pornography is very intricate with the fandom. Let's bring in another fandom as an example. What would we have? Warhammer 40k. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. In there is pornography. It's actually very common with... the entire ordeal, because Slanesh exists. So people are, of course, going to extrapolate and be like, oh, then you can justify tentacle porn. Yes, but that doesn't mean the fandom at large will like that, and as such will just call you a heretic. That's pretty much how they out them. The same thing can be said about, for example, D&D. Like, for example, tieflings and humans, for example, as far as I know, they can have children. It doesn't mean that everyone will essentially just make pornography of it all the bloody time. If anything, it's a footnote in the various stories in regards to their biology and existence. But when it comes to the furry fandom, it's very intricate to the point of it being an obsession, something that is deeply inclined into the fandom itself. And it's trying to get its grasp around very young people in a sense that I do not approve of.
It's certainly a problem for some people. It's a hard thing to talk about, especially with furries, because they never want to be honest about it, it seems. When I look at various statistics of how many people in the furry fandom are into pornography and, how many people considered an integral part of the fandom, as you were talking about, the numbers are something like 75%. But when you ask a furry about it, they'll say, "Oh no, only 5% of the fandom are into the furry porn." And it's like,
they are liars. They are pathological liars.
Liars are just very naive. I'm not sure.
No,
in denial. I'm not sure.
The thing is, as far as I've been able to tell in this whole regard, I do 100% believe that the furry fandom is a gateway into possible zoophilia. Because another example, I don't know if you've watched any of my videos on my YouTube channel, but I did a video with a disagreeing furry, because I made a video called My Problem with the Furry Fandom, in which I stated I wanted to have 3 people, one that agreed, one that disagreed. And I wanted those people to essentially come on the channel and, debate me and talk about it. I only got the disagreeing one because the agreeing one I tried to record, but the lines became corrupt and the files became corrupt. When it comes to the disagreeing furry, though, if you ask me, I managed to beat his argument within 4 minutes. And after that, it was just a downhill spiral. And eventually he talked about some of his interactions with his friends. His friends, he has come in on their conversations a few times when they've been talking about the shapes and sizes of animal cocks.
Yeah, that's a common discussion.
Yeah, I believe it's a gateway in no small regard. But it's getting boring because we're actually agreeing here. We're supposed to be debating.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really know what to expect when I came on here, but you're going to find that there's really not going to be a lot that I think I would completely disagree with or completely agree with. There's always an argument to be had.
Well, I do want to bring out though, because you're still confusing your audience to absolute fuck, with the whole why we should bring back the child labor thing. No, listen, seriously, because it's really confusing. A fresh start telling, I want to be a little bit more lethargical. I want to analyze shit, go into detail about theories, possibilities, and ethics and whatnot. You know what? That's fine. I don't mind that. But then you come in with a whole why we should bring back child labor. And the video, if that was, your analyzation, it was shit.
Oh, no, it wasn't a good video if we're going to talk about... I wouldn't have made it, what would you call, like a serious analytical video about that anyway, because it's not really a topic that interests me. But
then why did you make it?
For fun.
Okay, fair enough, considering the follow-up video. But the amount of stir this has caused, this is not, reduced subs or reduced revenue or fucked you over. You talked about, I noticed that apparently your videos have been demonetized by YouTube and with what you've stated previously. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, well, my videos have been demonetized for years, so it doesn't. I don't really worry about that too much. Does it confuse my audience?
It confused the fuck out of me because of the fact that I brought you on for the purpose of just tearing into your ass. Because the thing is, child labor, we already legally have that. Ever heard of a fucking summer job?
Yeah, or just kids born on farms and things of that nature.
Yeah, and chores in general.
One of the things with that video that I tried to say anyway at the very beginning was talking about how I knew how people would react to the video, and they would say that, oh, child labor is bad, you're an awful person, downvote the video, right? But then at the same time, they still support child labor when they buy products from companies that have those products made in other countries that by children.
Well, what can I say? It's the optimism's willing ignorance. But it all depends, really. Because in general, there are those people that just, refuses to buy things for example, when it says made in China, for example, they just want to buy American products or certain European products or, know the origins of places.
I don't care. I buy products from things I don't check to see if they support child labor or not. So I'm not trying to scold people for that exactly. I'm just saying this is a thing. At least be aware of it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that people got really confused as to, the whole why we should bring back child labor, if you were serious or not. But okay, if it comes to the conclusion that you're making this video as a bit of a fun, ha-ha thing, when you previously have stated in the first start that you want to be a little bit more serious on this channel, you do not think in any way, shape or form how this can be twisted and people think that you're starting to just look like a bloody jerk.
Yeah, sure. But people don't like me anyway. That's one of the things I've come to realize is that people are going to hate me anyway, especially furries, when I called out the whole community. And
well, that's the thing, though. There is no consistency in that case, because it appears that it is just, you're outing yourself or others in a fashion that's just going to essentially put you down the drain. Because, okay, I'm all for you out in the furry fandom. I was all for that, and I've watched the video. I watched the truth about the Kiro leaks. You were even mentioned by Mr. Metica, and said, thank you, gay dragon. I was all for that. I thought it was a good thing when you brought out, the truth of GIF. I haven't watched that entirely yet. Might be shit, I don't know. But, you've essentially brought a fair bit of stuff up. But it just boggles the mind then that you decide to go essentially 180 unannounced and be like, yeah, child labor. Considering the follow-up video, that the whole joy of eugenics thing was an obvious troll.
Yeah. Well, some people didn't think it was obvious troll. Well, that's the thing is, like, if I want to, okay, so this is a long story. Like, the whole thing about making videos on YouTube is trying to figure out what works, what I want to make, what gets views, and what I'm okay making from like an ethical standpoint. And you just got to try things.
So you felt it was ethical and good to make also in defense of pedophiles?
That's a hard video. That was about 3 years ago. I would say that my YouTuber ethical code wasn't really developed yet at that point. I still, it's always in development.
Well, okay, fair enough. That's 3 years ago, but it's somewhat still weird because you're saying that you're trying the forging of a moral code, yet it seems as if though you're all over the place and still very unmanaged and just, make shit for the lulz, in which case, all right, fine. But considering the fact that you kind of seem to want to live of this because you have a Patreon that have stated it fairly clearly, it kind of seems like you're just, shooting yourself in the foot.
Well, maybe. I won't deny that I make mistakes. But the thing is that you have to do things. You have to try different types of videos and different styles of content and different ways of writing and different topics and see what works and what doesn't. And the way I've done it basically is I make a video, and if I like the video, I judge it based on different things. Did I like making it? Did it get views? And did it make me feel bad for making it?
And in that case, what was the child labor video really about? Why?
Trying more satirical content. There's a lot of thought that goes into, is this going to be something that has a negative or positive impact on the world? I guess that, I don't know if that sounds weird.
Sounds a little odd, yeah.
No, I'm serious. Okay, so, I mean, I have various notes written down, and one of the things is that when we're talking about kind of the impact that people's actions have on the world, people want to say that you shouldn't say anything bad, you shouldn't try to hurt anyone's feelings because this is, this has a negative impact on the world. And I feel that to say my actions make the world a better or worse place is overstating my importance. And
I'm not saying either that you're, making it better or making it worse.
Right. That's kind of what it comes down to. This is complicated, right? There's a lot that goes into this. I don't know where to start explaining it,
but
basically.
How do you think it can go down to that? You just like me and Augie as well. Like, at the end of the day, we are just YouTubers.
Right, exactly. So it kind of doesn't matter. The thing is, YouTube and just internet life in general kind of doesn't matter. It's just kind of a silly thing. I think people take it way too seriously. So if I want to make a video for fun and be like, okay, this is my satirical content, I have to decide how serious to make it versus how silly to make it so that people get the right idea. And if I make that was my first video like that I tried to make. So obviously it was too serious sounding, I guess. So then my next video, I tried to correct that and be like, okay, we'll add more silly stuff to it so people get the idea.
So, fair enough. I'm all for it, If I had known, though, that it was supposed to be satirical, because then I wouldn't have, latched on eye. I would be like, yes, this is fun. But considering the fact of what you've stated previously, what you want to do with the channel, the things you actually desire to do, it goes contrary. Hence as to why you're getting the fucking backlash. Hence as to why we're here.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting to have it border on being satirical or serious, because it's kind of interesting to see who takes it seriously and then who doesn't take it seriously. There's some fun in that. And if someone does take it seriously, what's the harm in it? Do you think they're going to go out and advocate for child labor and make protests and stuff? I don't know if people are that radical when they watch that video.
Well, yes, I get what you mean. But then again, like mentioned, it was somewhat unannounced, because the thing is, people can kind of here's the thing. I haven't made a response video or anything like that to this, but like people watching this video and then watching back on your earlier stuff, watching your Twitter, for example, they would have no indication whatsoever bloody ever that, you are serious or not serious. Considering from the fresh start thing, it seems as if though you are trying to make something serious, and if that's your serious opinion, you will have a serious backlash, at which point we are here.
Yeah, but by doing things in that way, I've gotten all kinds of attention and other YouTubers who want to talk to me.
Whoa, what?
Wait, what? Wait. You have gotten attention of other YouTubers by announcing it or by not announcing it?
What do you mean? By doing things the way that I did them, I got a lot of attention. You can say it's negative attention if you want, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, a view is a view. The thing is, people are going to take screenshots of that video and a lot of my videos and spread them around and be like, look at this crazy person. And that gives me attention. Yeah. It gives me clicks on my video, which gives me views and gives me money. Well, and at the same time, you can't say that it's necessarily bad, because at the end of the day, it's entertainment for them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do for fun.
I find it, and from a satirical standpoint, I find this entertaining. But the reason as to why I'm bringing this up is because of the sheer fact that, like I'm saying, again, it's somewhat unannounced. And the thing is that because of the sheer fact that if people keep shouting, if people keep screaming, if people keep throwing mud at the wall, eventually some of it will stick. And considering the sheer fact that, and with this I'm trying to say that people are giving it the video attention. Okay, sure, it's what you want, so good. But the thing is, there's no backtrack of this, happening previously. There's no backtrack of essentially you stating that, oh, I'm going to be a bit more satirical in the future. I'm thinking
but I shouldn't have to. The whole point is that I don't say that.
Well, fair, but just realize that might actually just get you booted. I'm just trying to be giving advice rather than...
To be fair to him, he kind of already was in that position because of the spreading of the indefensive pedophiles. So I do think this is kind of like a clever way of taking that attention and then kind of like taking control of it by making these satirical videos. And then people will watch his content and continue wanting to watch to see like what crazy shit he says. And maybe convert those people into fans eventually when they realize that it is satirical, like in his newest video.
Well, I suppose. There's a fine line, though, between satire and seriousness in this, at least as far as I see in your videos.
Yeah, but like I said, making that video and trying to discover where that line is, I can't just... It's not a inherent thing. I don't just know where that is. I have to make videos.
I get that. But the thing is, though, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, you're trying something satirical, you want to do a little bit out of the blue. Sure, I don't mind that. But the thing is that this can also be something for people to kind of twist the story. Like you say yourself, the furry fandom doesn't like you very much. The furry fandom is, a fandom that just doesn't look brightly upon you. If that's the case, they might take that as ammunition, the why bring back child labor, just to, essentially report it to YouTube with like, see, this guy has done fucking, wants to bring back child labor. And yeah, sure, you could probably have been thrown out already for the, in defense of pedophiles thing. It feels as if though it might just load ammunition into the gun that eventually might fire you in the face.
Furries are always trying to get me kicked off of various platforms, so it doesn't really... It's not the worst thing ever, as long as you don't say anything that's, as long as you don't use specific words that are racist or different things, you won't really get kicked off of YouTube. If I made a video about like how Hitler is great, I might get kicked off of YouTube, but I don't think you can get kicked off for making a video about child labor. That's such a...
No, I guess. I get what you mean. But people have been booted for less, And the thing is, I just don't trust YouTube's own system. Well, because as much as I want to say, yeah, you could probably not get booted off of this, I fear that people might just for anything nowadays. YouTube is such a fickle platform that, one day it's a stable, green, beautiful forest. Next day is a hellscape.
But that's exactly the reason why I shouldn't worry about it, because I can get kicked off of YouTube for anything. I could get kicked off of YouTube for a video I made, 5 years ago at any point. So sometimes I wake up in the morning after I've made a video and I'm surprised that my channel is still there. Like, I don't expect to not get kicked off the platform at some point, but I just don't see why I should be afraid of that. It's going to happen anyway. Or at least it could happen for any number of reasons.
So in that case, just to clarify then, because I felt I feel a little bit misled maybe by my own lack of research or the sheer fact that this is just coming up now. Because I don't know if you've talked about this, which you're talking to me now with anyone else. If that's the case, I guess you wouldn't give a shit if you woke up one day and realized that your channel is gone.
I would care, but there's just nothing you can do about it. You know, people get kicked, like you're just saying, people get kicked off for any reason. So it's not worth worrying about, really.
I suppose.
The thing is, I'm not going to make this like family-friendly toy review videos. I'm never going to do that. I'm always going to be controversial because I like making videos that get people talking and kind of upset. I like doing that. So that's the kind of videos I'm going to make. And yes, I will probably get kicked off the platform one day. I'm not worried about it.
I don't know. I was just a little bit mixed about this whole ordeal because I was looking over your channel. When I saw this whole why we should bring back child labor thing, I was like, wait, what the fuck? And that's what it was.
Uh-huh. But well, that's
and
the
I decided
idea.
just, okay, well, the fuck is this all about? Checked the video. Honestly, like many others, thought it was crap, but didn't realize that it might be satire. Checked back on your shit. There was no indication of it. So I was like, well, maybe. And then Augie arranged this to clarify.
That's the point, though. People like to take things out of context. They like to take a screenshot of the title of a video or the thumbnail or just clip one line from one video I said and take it way out of context and try to show that I'm a crazy person or an asshole or whatever they want. So why not just feed them that? Why not?
Now,
it gets attention.
Now I gotta ask though, was In Defense of Pedophiles part of the satire series?
That one's I've thought about that video a lot because it has caused me a lot of stress.
I can imagine.
I don't.
There we go.
I think the most honest thing I can say about the video is I don't really remember why I made it. I've said a lot about it because people have asked me about it before, and then I think, maybe I made it for this reason, maybe I made it for this reason. I don't exactly know. There's a lot of reasons. I can tell you that point in time, everybody in the furry community likes to accuse everyone of being either a zoophile, a pedophile, or a Nazi. Those are their favorite things to call people. When a lot of that was going around, people accusing everyone of being all these things, is when I started making these videos, kind of defending people. And then I guess kind of probably just a misguided way to try to defend people. But I think what I should have done, what would have been a lot better, is if I would have made it about how we shouldn't assume that everyone who gets accused of being a pedophile is automatically a pedophile, because a lot of that happens too.
In defense of people accused of being pedophiles would have been a much easier to swallow title. I have to say.
In defense of people being accused of being pedophiles, right? But that's not as catchy. Isn't going to get the same attention. As just
yeah.
The thing
you see
is
something
too,
in defense of pedophiles. Go ahead, Freeman.
Yeah, and the thing is too, if you look at it, I don't know about you, Kothorix, but it feels as if though when I'm looking a lot online and I'm looking, reading a lot of news, going through a lot of pages, there seems to be just a dime a dozen of them these days, as if though they're just outed every Sunday. And the word is seemingly in that case getting thrown around a lot more than it perhaps should be because, it's a heavy accusation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, any sort of sexual misconduct, people tend to automatically believe that it's true. It's kind of fucked up.
Well, all right. And in general, I'm happy at least to have this gone through. But you want to know a little bit of a fun thing?
Sure.
Because I just went through your channel to properly check, okay, what's really going down with this guy? And since I saw no indication of the whole we should bring back child labor being essentially satire, I believed it almost. Mm-hmm. And so I agree, you got me there. And then I started to essentially think why did you rename yourself Kothism? And I thought, well, you were raised super Christian. Have you made a new religion?
Oh, yeah, that's...
But no.
Well, it was kind of... The main reason is because people have trouble remembering how to spell and pronounce Kothorix. So I made it something easier I made the channel easier. That's literally the main reason why I did it. But also it makes sense. It's not just a random word. It's people call my weirdness, because this is not just a YouTube thing. Tell people my you could call them satirical jokes or whatever in real life and tell people to them with a straight face and and try to make it sound like it's something I really believe. And people, will call it my my Kothisms, or the people that know me in from the furry community anyway. That's just a thing, or in games and such. People always use the name Koth, so that's what it becomes, is my Kothisms, my weirdness, my weird little stories. So, but yeah, I mean, the main reason was just because it's easier to remember and spell than Kothorix is.
Well, I suppose, but if this is the PR you desire, I mean, considering the sheer fact that it is a satirical video, and on second hand, if you give it another watch, yeah, it's funny.
Regardless of how people online took it, it made my friends laugh, and it made my parents laugh, and that's
good.
That's great, right? Yeah, because that's all that matters. I don't care if random furries online hate me. Who the fuck cares?
Fair enough, if that's the actual thing. But I just wanted to kind of clear, because I was unsure as to if you were actually serious or not. But it's good to know at least, what's going down. And hey, this video can perhaps serve as a bit of a clarity just to make sure that everyone knows. Because
no, I'm not. That's the thing, is that I don't expect everyone to, like, every single person to watch this thing.
No,
so
of course not, but
I'm not
at least this
that concerned with saying it here. But like, no, I'm not going to tell people that it's satire. I'm not going to say that outright. Like, that kind of ruins the whole fun of it.
Have you guys heard of someone named BG Cumby? He does the same thing that Kothism is doing right now, basically, where he has like a satirical channel where he pretends he's being legit. And like, even back, I think during the Trump election, he pretended he was the leader of the Antifa movement, and he actually got on Fox News, I think.
Oh my gosh!
And tricked them. So
see, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you can do shit like that, like, if mainstream news source like picks up your video and makes an article about it, doesn't fucking matter if it's good attention or bad attention. That's when you start getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of views.
It's hilarious too. I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, the mainstream media started going after a YouTuber by the name of Soap, and she gained like 200,000 just from it alone, just because they were trying to like censor her and stuff like that. So it's
didn't PewDiePie gain like 20 million subscribers from when the New York Times or whatever called him a Nazi? Like, this is, you'd think that bad attention would be bad, but it's really not. And not on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, it seems like we've come to an interesting conclusion here. Do you guys have anything else you want to quarrel about or question each other? Or are you...
Well, I do want to say one thing. I did watch your latest video, Kothism, and I do wholeheartedly agree that we probably should put neurotypicals in like some sort of concentration camp. Autists like rule the world. I mean, we are the superior. We're basically the evolution, the next evolution of human beings. So.
I mean, I agree. If we can just, utilize eugenics to perhaps euthanize the population through the drinking water, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll enjoy Wednesdays to be the last stream on this channel. Thanks, guys.
I think this has been great.
Yeah, these neurotypicals need to be stopped.
I was crushed. Holy shit! I'm all behind the cause. Let's bring back child labor under the new religion, Kothism.
Oh yeah,
we were saying like before the debate starts, I was like, "Well, Freeman, are you ready to get your ass stomped on?" And sure enough, it's true. He's converted you. You are now in favor of child labor at the end of this. I can't believe it actually happened.
And you're a Kothist. Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm a Kothist too now. Jeez.
Freeman, I hate to say it, but I think you got BTFO'd in this whole. I'm fucking around.
I think we all can. I think we all. I don't think I got beaten down specifically. I think we all learned something today.
We've all had our third eyes open.
We can value.
We're now all intellectuals.
RFC After Hours is a live trending issues and entertainment broadcast with co-host Boblax, broadcasted every weekday, Monday through Friday, starting at 6:30 p.m. Central. The show is for entertainment purposes only. All chat messages and donations read are the words of the original messenger, and certain viewpoints expressed do not reflect that of myself or Boblax.